Hello.
Hi there.
How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hmm,
Can you hear me?
I'm having a little trouble hearing you. I'm going to turn up the volume a bit.
I have no problem hearing you, but that doesn't mean.
Okay.
Okay.
So, how's your wife?
She's actually better. She went to work today. She hasn't had a fever for the past probably 36 hours, and that was what work wanted. Work wanted her to not have a fever. So she went back. Um, like I said, I've been exposed, so I just didn't want to, you know, go to the library and potentially expose other people. But I've been fine for this past week. Um, she got I don't think I had COVID. She got full COVID like the day after I got better. She was just out. She was just down.
Mm-hmm.
So, she actually took the COVID test. She took two COVID tests and both of them came back positive. So she was not not happy, but
Well, if she's out in front of the public all the time, she's certainly exposed. Um,
yeah, yeah. Um, that was pretty much what we figured too was, you know, between me being sick and her being with everybody or near everybody, around everybody, she,
mm-hmm.
she's a lot more susceptible to the nasty viruses.
Yep.
So, so yeah. Um, but like I said, past 24, 36 hours, her fever broke and she's been without symptoms and has felt a whole lot better. It's just I didn't want to take the chance. I didn't want to go down to the library and say, you know, here I am, cough, cough, cough.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad she's better.
So, yeah. And my dad who I think actually started all this is better.
Well, that's good.
We went we went last Monday to lunch, previous Monday. It's been almost 2 weeks. Um, to lunch, and he gets home and he says, "I am sick. I am so sick. I don't know what happened." And uh, I'm like, "Well, me and you went to the same spot, so I'm not feeling sick." But then a day later, I was. So you know, you know how that is.
Yep.
So I see
Hey, Steve.
I see
Hello.
Steve at the library.
No, all alone.
Yeah, I didn't know if anybody would go or not, honestly. I just, you know, we've got the room. We might as well use it. And then we've got the room one more time in February, and then we could give the Mason Library, see what we think about Mason.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah. That's all fun stuff.
Well, the how's the snow treating you?
Well, me personally,
Yeah.
having not had to get out of the house for a week, I don't care. Um, it, it snowed pretty good here. We got
Yep.
I would say 8 inches maybe.
Yeah,
Really got off
that's
easy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're more to the north. To the south of us, got hit hard.
yeah, we ended up with something in the order of 8 inches plus in Milford.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I assume you got about the same thing, Steve.
I think we got more.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't really tell how much we got. I just look at the railing on the back deck and see how deep that is, and
Yeah.
if there's a fair amount of wind blowing sideways, of course it doesn't collect on the railing. So um, I can measure the rainfall easily. I cannot. I don't have a snow measuring device.
you
So
gotta stick a ruler up outside.
yeah,
Clunk.
yeah. Well, but it's a question of where because the for example my front porch, my front stoop is just has a couple of inches on it, and that's that. So depending on how the wind goes, you get different amount
Yeah.
collected.
Yeah. I would say we got anywhere from 8 to 12, but it's kind of like what you said. If the wind was blowing somewhere, we might get a little bit more. I definitely think we got 8 for sure.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I've got a fire ring in my backyard that's 4 courses of brick and it's level. I can't see it anymore.
right.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It's over that.
Yeah. Well, the day that it started, we here in Franklin, there was nothing going on. I went and grabbed some food and some other stuff, and by the time I got down to Middletown, which is only 3.5 miles away, 4 miles away, my car was covered in snow. And by the time I got to the store that I was going to get food, I couldn't see. I mean, snow was everywhere. And then turned around and came back, and of course, by then it had started snowing here, but my car was completely covered when I went into the store and came out, and I was in the store 20 minutes at most. So Annie, who lives down in Kentucky, she said that uh, at the same time we were having no snow, her entire backyard had been covered and probably was 2 or 3 inches of snow. So they definitely got more snow than we did.
My little Basset is not amused.
Uh,
Really?
Yeah, she's got 3 inch long legs.
our when we had a dog, she loved the snow. That was the greatest thing in the world was the snow. She would jump into snow piles and disappear and then pop up somewhere else. Do I see fire there, Art? Are you trying to burn down your house? What are
No,
you doing?
I'm trying to I'm lighting my aromatic candle here. But yes, you did see fire. I need to get myself a lighter or something like that because these safety matches are sometimes very difficult to get started. So,
Yeah. So,
oh, I like the old days with the large strike anywhere. The, but that was their problem. They would strike anywhere.
Yeah, but they were really fun in a BB gun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So there's a new Arduino Uno R4.
oh, okay.
Um, and it's improved in a number of ways. It's faster, more various memories, and there's actually a version that has Wi-Fi built in. So it was announced, I don't know, a couple of days ago, a week ago. So I was reading about it this morning. I don't know whether supposedly it is available, but I don't know whether or not um, it's a phantom product or if it's real. I don't know if it's available at Micro Center or not.
I don't know about Micro Center. Um, why did it come up? Okay. The Arduino web store has it, but it's showing it with what is that? Sterling silver? British pounds?
Yeah, well, it's
So
probably available in England.
30 pounds, 30
So it's
30 euros, whatever that is. Whatever they're
well
that
that current current exchange rate is probably that's probably about 35 bucks, something like that.
It's on
But
Amazon for 27.99,
I'm
28
sorry.
bucks. It's on Amazon for $28.
Okay.
yeah, it's Micro Center's got it for 28 bucks.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the exchange rate is exactly, but it's usually just a little bit north of a dollar. But I haven't done any foreign exchange in the last month or so. So
I guess that symbol is euros and
if it looks like an E,
yeah,
stylized E, yes, that's a euro.
so we have 30 euros. Yeah, it says that's roughly 30 bucks. So
Yeah, round numbers.
yeah, 31 bucks. So looks like you could get it cheaper from Micro Center or Amazon. Micro Sharonville says they've only got one in stock, so
Oh, really? Okay.
it's got the bunch of like a RGB matrix or a LED matrix.
Well, I don't think the one with Wi-Fi is available yet. It's
No,
been
that's
announced.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is?
yeah. 30 bucks or 28
I
bucks.
can have it at my door January 13th if I order
Okay.
within 6 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay.
It's got a ESP32 on it. Looks like an S3 and I don't know, a 10 by 10 LED matrix, maybe
And it's pin compatible, I believe. So
8 by 10.
legacy hats should fit it.
It it appears to be pin compatible.
This runs about 4 times faster.
Yeah. I think it's 48 megahertz, something like that.
I I don't know about buying Arduino uh hardware anymore. I mean, I guess 27 bucks, 28 bucks isn't horrible. I mean, I've spent more on other things, but you know, you could get something with a nice screen on it and some buttons and some other stuff for around the same price.
Yeah, but once the clones start coming out, they'll be under $5. So I never go by what the real Italian Arduinos are. I go by what the clones are, and I figure they'll be out in a couple of months. So
Right. Well, I mean, you know, let's see. I got it's an ESP32C3, not an S3. So it's a single core, but it's got a nice screen on it. It's a,
yeah,
and it's not in this box that I worked so hard to pull up. It's got a decent screen on it. I paid $5 for it.
uh-huh,
And it's got a little joystick and some buttons and uh, uh, some I/O and stuff. So, and I don't think it's a clone board. I think it's a name brand board. I think Waveshare made it. It's
mm-hmm.
just they're cheap. So I don't know about what Arduino. I don't know why they're expensive. I guess because it's got the Arduino name on it.
Yeah. Generally speaking, though, like a Arduino Uno R3, which was released in 2012. Um, you can buy those for well south of $5,
Yeah,
about $3. So um, it's a tough business to be in. Hardware is a tough business to be in. The it's kind of like selling vegetables. If you don't sell it this week, it doesn't have much value next week. So
right. Well, like that board that I was talking about, it's it's a name brand board or from a brand vendor, but it's clearly a clone of like that without the case.
yeah,
So, and I think this was 15 bucks. So $5 is a heck of a deal. I'll just 3D print a case.
yeah,
They Arduino a few years ago when they had split apart and there was Arduino and that Arduino.cc and Arduino.com where the creators had some dispute with each other and split the company and
yeah.
Arduino.com had come out with a Wi-Fi version of the R3
Mm-hmm.
and it worked about as well as you would expect a Chinese product to work. In other
Okay.
words, it didn't really work all that great, but they tried. So maybe now that they're back together again, they've actually figured out why the one failed, and they've got something better now. But I don't know. I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to the Arduino hardware anymore. Most of the stuff I use is ESP32 stuff. Most of it comes from LilyGo or TTGo, WaveShare, or M5. And uh, I've been basically happy with the M5 stuff, except their documentation has started to really become very, very poor. They used to make really good stuff with really good documentation, and now I'm left guessing about some of the stuff. So, but on the plus side of that, their stuff has gotten a little cheaper, so maybe they're not putting as much time into making the documentation and lowering the cost of the product. I don't know. Ray's lurking somewhere. Ray doesn't have his camera on, but
I think he
Ray's
just,
here.
I think he's just l- like I do sometimes, just logs in and then goes off to do something else.
I don't know. Uh, I don't know where he might be. He might be driving. Who knows? But if you were talking about the snow, I think we're expecting more snow on Friday.
That's what the forecast says, is that you're supposed to get hit with pretty pretty heavy snow on Friday and over the weekend.
Yeah.
I need to convince my one of my neighbors to drive their car up and down my driveway a couple of times so it looks like there's somebody there. Because right now it is fairly obvious that nobody's going in or out. On the other hand, if we were in Milford, we probably wouldn't be going in or out either. So
I don't know. I don't think the roads are all that bad. Steve's
well,
probably driven more than I have.
The
but
roads are
the
fine. It's when you get off the road that things get fun.
Uh,
The roads are clear and dry. I mean, coming in here, all the lanes are open. The the area on the side of the road, it's
yeah.
cleared. They're dry. People are
mhm.
going 75, 85 miles an hour like normal Ohio.
Yeah, it seems like the problem, at least listening to the scanner, happens after nightfall, after the sun goes down and the roads start to freeze. Then people start having some issues, but
Yeah.
the roads generally seem like they're in really good condition. So,
Well, in our neighborhood there in Terrace Ridge in Milford, um, the streets are absolutely dry. They're clear, and they were, of course, they plow them continuously. But my issue is that you go up my street and all of my neighbors have either shoveled their driveway or driven in and out of it. So it's, you know,
Yeah.
fairly obvious that there's somebody there. Thing is, I don't have anybody going in and out of my driveway, so it's pretty obvious it's been sitting there for 3 or 4 days with um, no tire tracks on it.
Right.
So at any rate,
Yeah. I could see that being a thing if somebody's just driving by going, "Oh, look, there's a house that nobody's paying any attention to."
well, on the other hand, I've got probably 20 cameras on that house, and the external ones are very obvious.
Yeah.
So they'd have to be a little dim-witted to believe that it isn't being monitored.
Well, you're yes. I agree. But
Yeah,
you're
I
not
mean,
talking about the brightest bulbs in the
well,
pack
that's true.
anyway. So,
That's true. But I feel more comfortable from somebody's driven in and out of the driveway a couple of times to
our
put some tire tracks in.
the people that take care of the yard here in the complex also do the snow plowing and whatever, and they've done a fairly decent job of keeping the the street plowed. The biggest problem is everybody was parked, and of course they had to pile the snow somewhere, so it kind of got behind the cars a bit. So,
Yeah.
but uh, they do a fairly decent job here. Uh, I would like 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 I said, I pretty much have been inside for the past week well, probably a little bit longer, but I sat at the front window and watched them drive a little bobcat around the parking lot, just pushing snow out of the way. I'm like, oh yay! And then they came through and sawed the street, and somebody came through and salted our steps. I'm not sure who did that, but that was nice because I suppose if you had to leave the apartment, and since we're on the second floor, having the steps salted
Yeah.
made it a lot nicer to get out. I don't know who did that, but
Are the steps wood or metal or what?
they're they're wood, uh, they're wood with like a metal plate over top of the wood, and then I don't know what you call them, grippy things inside the metal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly like the metal plate that they stuck on there. I've tripped over the metal plate a couple of times, but uh, not much I could do about that. I mean, that all the stairs have them. So I tripped up. I tripped up the stairs once because I'm pretty sure my uh shoe got caught on one of the metal plates, and I've tripped down the stairs once. It's not fun to
Yeah.
trip down the stairs. That's not fun.
Yeah. Well, you can do a lot of damage to yourself.
Yeah. And tripping down the stairs happens a lot faster than tripping up the stairs.
Yeah. Gravity being such as it is.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Mike.
Salutations.
Can't quite make out what Steve's shirt says. Linux is,
User friendly.
oh,
Linux is very user friendly. It's just very particular about who its friends are. With a with an unhappy tux at the bottom.
Ah,
Oh, okay. That's a penguin, isn't it?
Yep.
an
Okay.
emperor penguin, I'm guessing.
Well, it's a penguin. Its name is Tux. It's the official mascot. It was
Yeah.
picked by Linus himself and drawn by one of the fellows that worked on Samba early on.
I had a friend whose daughter and husband are both electrical engineers, masters or doctorate, I guess doctorate. And she wrote on her webpage that her job with Emperor Linux was to make pretty pictures.
It was originally drawn by Larry Ewing.
I've got a bunch of little penguin statues somewhere because Patty, I've talked about Linux for like 20 years, and Patty finally, she just thinks that I like penguins.
Okay.
And I don't mind penguins. I like them, but I don't know if I need like a bunch of little penguin statues.
So I have plenty of penguin statues. The first one I got, they were using as a sign holder at a key bank. And I go in and they had some promotion going on, and there's this little foam tux with a wire and a little alligator clip sticking out of the top of it. I'm like, okay, is there any chance I can get one of these things? And so I ended up with it. And then I got a couple more and some others. And that was fine. My current wife, and I don't know why, thinks that I'm really into trains. And I am. I mean, male. I like trains. But she has set up vacations to go see steam engines and locomotives, and I'm not saying no.
Okay.
I'm not as interested in them as she thinks I am.
Oh, you're not a rail fan?
Nah, meh. It's a thing.
Well, they have a lot of the rail fans support a lot of cameras on various
Yep.
junctions and so forth and so on. There's one in the Queen City, Cincinnati yard that I watch regularly. And one of the reasons I watch it is that it not only shows the image of the yard with them doing switching and so forth and so on, but it also gives the temperature at the
Uh,
camera location. So it gives me a good
and I
measure of the temperature?
I happened to mention to one of Patty's coworkers how to find the hard to find Hot Wheels.
Yeah,
Well, Patty's been off work for a week. This
yeah.
lady, this lady that she worked for or with ended up finding, oh, I didn't take all of what she found. She found probably 40 or 50 hard to find cars. And
Was she?
I was not expecting her to find cars for me, but
So where'd she get these? These were not a. This would not be a regular Kroger product, would it?
uh, where Patty work she works in one of the it's not really a marketplace. It's the one right below the marketplace that sells they don't sell the clothes. They sell almost everything else that a marketplace would sell, but they don't sell the clothes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this lady is in charge of putting the Hot Wheels out and taking care of the toys. And
Oh,
so
okay.
so I wasn't expecting when I told her how to find the ones that
Mm.
were harder to find, I wasn't expecting her to actually find them. I was just parting information saying
Yeah.
this is she was talking about how some collectors go in there and they'll hang cars up on various signs. And I'm like, well, that's probably telling their partner or their friend, I've already searched through this. There's no point in looking. So, she was like, I'm baffled as to why they do this. They hang a car in a certain spot every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And she's watched them. And I said, well, this is what they're looking for. They're looking for these cars. And I told her how to find them. I told her if you want to stop it, you just pull those cars out and they'll stop looking because they won't be able to find these cars. But I wasn't expecting her to actually pull them out and want me to buy all of them. Like, I don't need like 50 of the same car.
But you might.
I might. It's also her Kroger's is like one of the very few Kroger's that I've actually been able to ever find treasure hunt out in the wild. It's crazy. But I found a bunch of what they call treasure hunts there
What's
at her
that?
store. They're basically a different paint job. Um, and they've got like a little bit. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is a treasure hunt right there on the paint job, which you probably can't see, is a little flame. So
Okay.
that flame and the container, there's a little flame logo down in on the package inside the thing. That makes it a hard to find treasure hunt. So there's probably two different models of this that are painted exactly the same way, except one has the flame and one doesn't. So there's dozens of those kind of cars. Um, and it's also one of the few Krogers where I've ever actually found the Kroger exclusive cars, which that's a Kroger exclusive. And
Does it have a Kroger logo on it?
no, it's they made like it's just a different paint job. And
Hmm.
only Kroger's has them in gray. But you can't find them at most Krogers. Most Krogers don't carry them. So I don't know. And that's a Kroger exclusive. And I don't really know why that one's an exclusive, but it is.
I didn't realize Kroger sold toys.
Yeah, their marketplace sells all their marketplaces sell uh all kinds
Everything.
of stuff. Yeah.
They sell Walmart stuff.
It's a Walmart that sells food. Sells a lot of food.
Well, Walmart sells a lot of food too, actually.
That's a Kroger exclusive. And that not only is it hard to find, but it's also hard to find. It that one was like extremely hard to find. But
Okay, so what
it's
is that worth at the moment, and what will it be worth in 10 years?
at the moment, it's worth $1. In 10 years, I have no idea. Um, sometimes they can go upwards of 20, $25, but who knows? I mean, she actually ended up whatever case she opened up to dump in there must have been full of these things because she had like 30 of them. So it can't be like it's really hard to find. It's hard to find when you're out looking for them. They're not easy to find, but once you find a case of them, they're everywhere. So the only ones that I really know will increase their value, there's ones that are called super treasure hunts, and they're a little bit different than the standard treasure hunts. Um, and those definitely will increase their value for whatever reason. They are not just hard to find, they are like intensely hard to find.
Okay, corollary question. Assuming Patty can't hear you, what's the most you've ever paid for one Hot Wheels car?
About $100.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
Well, there's a car that well, it's not coming off of that wall. Um, the Hot Wheels back in the day, they had the red line cars that had the red wheel, a
Mhm.
line in the wheel, and those are worth a ton of money if you know if they're original and everything. Um, but Hot Wheels capitalized on that concept, and they have the Red Line Club, which is a club you can join and get exclusives that only Hot Wheels sells directly to members of the club.
Okay.
So there are some exclusive Batmobiles that are red lines that only club members could have, but club members are willing to sell them to other people if you pay premium for them. And I know they didn't pay anywhere close to it probably was a $20 car from the club and $100 because I'm not a member of the club.
Once you join the club.
Because they don't release Batmobiles as often as they could. I think they've only had two Redline Batmobiles, and frankly, I'm not really all that interested in the other red lines. And you still have to buy them. I mean, even if you're a member of the club, you have to buy them. So it's not like they
Oh,
give them to
okay. I'm
you.
sorry. I thought it was a club and you could go, yeah, I'll take one of those.
No, it's not like they give them to you. You pay like I don't know what it was, 25 or $30 a year, and you get the opportunity to buy these exclusives from them. It's it's not like I want that opportunity or that I need that opportunity, especially when I mean eventually they show up on eBay and sometimes they're reasonable and sometimes they're not, and the Batmobiles just are sought after. People want the Batmobile, so you're going to pay a premium for those. I've got a San Diego Comic-Con set from one year that I think I paid about $100 for, but it's a set of five, so that's about $20 a piece. And I've got uh I've got bookmarked the rarest Batmobile ever, which was a Mexican Comic-Con and Hot Wheels exclusive for them. It's 3 grand. 3000000. I am not paying $3,000 for a car. If I pay
Not
three,
not one you can hold in your hand.
I was gonna say if I'm paying 3 grand for a car, I better be able to drive the stupid thing. Uh, I think me and Patty sat down one one day and figured out just what I spent, and I've spent some money on this collection, but I've got a lot. I've got over 500 cars. Most of them I paid a dollar, maybe a dollar and a quarter a piece for. So, you know, even at uh a dollar a piece, if you figure a dollar a piece for 500 cars, that's $500. So, I've got some money invested in these stupid cars.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Over years?
Well, this actually all started in 2020 when we were on lockdown.
Oh,
I was bored. I started looking on eBay. Oh, look, Batmobiles. Okay.
Well, if you put it in perspective of how much have I spent since 1980 on computers that I no longer own or no longer exist or work, and $500 would be a bargain.
Yeah.
That's true.
yeah. I paid $800 for my first hard drive. So, meh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was just saying we sat down and went through one day. And then of course I don't just collect Batmobiles. I started seeing Crown Vics out in the stores. So I started buying those because of course I drive a Crown Vic. So I gotta have those. But and I've got some Ghostbuster cars and what else? There was Back to the Future cars. The
The
Batmo
So,
DeLorean.
the Batmobiles are the ones that everybody wants, so
so where do you keep all these?
uh they're they're in various spots around the room. I'm going to have to do a tour of my room, aren't I?
You need to get
Vicente,
one of the you need
All
to get
right.
one of the spinning display racks like they have them on in the store.
Yeah, most places just dump them into big bins, which I don't like. but let's see here. Let's see if I can. What am I doing? I'm trying to join the meeting. This isn't working.
Oh,
What's going on, Mr. Vicente?
a lot of snow, but everything going well. I was working in a microcontroller, a very cheap one. It's very hard to work with because almost a few people are working with it, but I'm trying to assemble code. It's a little complicated. It's a RISC C, so really tiny, 4 millimeters by 4 millimeters. Don't know if you can see. See?
Okay.
28 pins, and the bottom of the chip is the ground. So you save one pin for more I/O. So you have 27 I/O pins in a 28 package. I'm working with three environments. I am using Platform I/O. I'm using Arduino. I am using Mount River, is the IDE of the manufacturer of the chip. And all of them are working okay, but the problem is the data sheet of the chip. It's a little complicated. It's a lot of stuff, but they don't explain almost anything, just tables everywhere, address and bits, switch on, switch off stuff inside the microcontroller. But I having fun.
Okay.
I'm progressing. I have this installed here. You see, I am using an Arduino Nano here to produce signals, and my program tried to catch up with the fast signals of the Arduino. I'm trying to work in assembly language to go as fast as possible. But I'm thinking of several applications for that, but still working on them. This chip has a USB port, but they already doesn't exist already the libraries to use it. So it's so cheap, and in the future we'll have the USB port. Will be nice to design any kind of pen drive or whatever in a single chip. And it costs like 25 cents in quantities of 20. So it's interesting. That's it. And I just today received this switch with the mains cable. I will install my bench for the hoverboard wheels. I have a wood assembly with the power supply on it to try to make experiments with the controller. But I will use this to connect with the power supply from the mains. And it has a switch with a light. And in the middle, there is a fuse also. So it's nice. This cost like $5 from Amazon. I bought 2 of them for $10 delivery. It's nice. Here are the fuses. I will use this to bring the hoverboard motor controller to the meeting, to a meeting.
Okay.
You know,
Nice.
I will try to use the outright board that is a very sophisticated board that can control the hoverboard wheel in a very slow speed, you know, for the robots.
Right.
Do you remember, Leroy, we used to have trouble trying to move the robot slow,
Yeah.
to move fast or nothing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the idea is to use this sophisticated all-drive boards to move the hoverboard wheel very smooth and supposedly strong at low speeds. Let's see. This is another project.
Yeah, I still have those robots. The batteries
Uh-huh.
went bad on them,
Okay.
but I still have the robots.
Okay.
Um, I have to go back through all my notes and see how I wired those things up.
No, but we can use the hardware, you know, the chassis, and use new controllers and new microcontroller also, and
Yeah.
new software,
Yeah.
because Mark did a good job with the
Yeah, the chassis are
metal stuff,
really
the
nice.
chassis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. But
Okay.
so
Mhm. I continue buying. This in TJ Maxx. They have these drawers for $29, and
okay.
I continue buying more and more and more and more, putting more stuff. The basement is full of these drawers.
How much were those drawers?
There is a three by three,
Uh-huh.
29,
Okay.
3 by 3, 29, and this the upper one, you see, 3 by 3, and
Uh-huh.
there is this 3 by 4, 30, 32, 34, 33 box, but they are really big, you know. They are, I think are huge drawers.
Yeah.
You can put a lot of stuff in, and you have slots here to create 4 spaces in each drawer. This is Let me check it here. They come with this thing.
Okay. Like a little divider thing.
Yeah, I provided. You have more space.
It's been my experience, it doesn't matter how many containers you
No,
have,
yes,
traffic
agree.
expands to
I
fill
agree.
every available spot.
It's a state of mind, you know, because you can go down and recycle almost 80% of them and throw away everything, or put them in a cardboard boxes because you never use the content of them.
Yeah.
And use them in a different way. But yeah, I have all kind of things.
That came from Harbor Freight, and I bought one box. I've got like 15 of these now.
They have the best prices for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was $15 or something like that. I think they're up to 20 now, but the only real problem with these is some of the spots are too small. Some of the controllers just don't fit well in them.
The most expensive alternative are from the container store. Everything is very expensive. Everything in the container store. They have nice things, but expensive.
What one of the
These
best,
boxes of them.
yeah. I
This thing like it's $5 or something.
The dollar store has some that are like that, but they're real thin, so they can't hold a lot of weight. But they can hold a lot of stuff. They just can't hold a lot of weight.
And Michael's also twice a year or so they reduce the prices, a huge reduction, you know, maybe
Yeah.
50 or 60% in the plastic boxes. It's a good option.
Um, IKEA has some nice boxes.
Yeah, very,
Um,
very transparent.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the price. I don't know. I see them, I say, okay.
I, it's not horrible, but they don't have uh they don't have removable dividers in them. You're stuck with the size that they are. So,
I bought this from China for $1.20.
okay.
This is temperature and humidity.
Hackable.
They have another model that use Bluetooth connection. It costs maybe $3 or $4. Now I have a section for USB magnetic. Thank you to Steve. I have my magnetic USB division.
Yeah.
C USB micro, USB OTG, USB mini, the Arduino Nanos, the old ones, because the new ones, they have USB-C,
Yep.
and they have all the components in the same layer. I like them. Also, they have a crystal oscillator instead of the ceramic resonator, so it's more precise. I like those Arduinos.
My completely unorganized box of USB cables.
Yeah, but look, I have another here.
Oh,
I have another in the closet. I have two in the basement. with all kind of USB connectors. All
I
kind.
I've got a whole big tub full of USB connectors.
And
This
that's just the ones
My-
in this room.
this is just what I use near the computer.
we need a meeting only for USB cables.
We would be if we could sell all our
Look at
USB
my.
cables for $1 a piece, we'd be millionaires.
Every week we see, oh, another cable. Let me try it. The right angle. This is whatever.
If
I
we,
have some that I don't know.
Magnetic connectors,
yes.
I
I
have
magnetic.
one for
that if we could collect
iPhone.
penny a piece for finding the people who put all these different damn connectors on the end of a USB cable and could get them to go back in time and eliminate that, if we got a contribution from everybody in the world who would like to have that happen, we would all be billionaires.
Look at this. This is power, 5 volts
Yep,
connector.
got some of those too.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, I was just using this one. That's why it's not in the bucket. There's one with a power switch.
Mini hubs
Yeah, I got one of those too.
with switches to turn on and off each channel.
USB hub
Yeah.
with HDMI on it that I can't seem to get to work. Everything else on that hub works. The HDMI doesn't. I don't care.
Yeah.
One.
Level of frustration when I'm trying to plug in a USB is I always have it 180 degrees out of sync. And I
3
can't.
times in a row.
3 times in a row, yeah.
Yeah, I rotated 180 degrees 3 times and I'm still wrong.
Wow.
Yeah. I USB-C solves that problem, but
Yep.
I'm still not like a huge fan of USB-C because of how much power can transfer down that cable. Those little teeny tiny cables.
I have this for my Android phone to connect this is USB-C,
Hmm.
OTG, and you have the standard USB port, so you can use your pen drives, your standard pen drives. This is from Micro Center. You can connect
You know,
this and connect this to your phone.
they're making pen drives with USB-C on them now.
Yes, yeah, I saw.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're eliminating the A connector.
And now my computer also have the USB-C connector, so I can move to the new pen drives. Everything USB-C.
Yeah.
I don't think A is going to go away anytime soon. So I've been picking up the drives that have both A and C.
Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah, I think ultimately USB-A is going to go away, but I don't know when.
Mm, I don't know. I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime.
I don't know. With everybody pushing everything to be USB-C and even laptops.
This is a USB Dolphin
Oh,
pen
that's
drive.
cool. What is that, a dolphin?
Yeah.
We were in Mexico, in Costa Costa something, playing with dolphins, and they give you your pictures inside this. Well, don't give you. They ask
They
for a price, you know.
they give it to you for $30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they ask for a lot of money. So I wait for everyone to go out, and they say, and then for 1/5 of the price, I say I give you $20, or I leave it. Okay, it's okay. I give me the pictures instead of 115 or something.
Right. But
Too
it
expensive.
it's been it's been a while since I actually shopped for laptops, but the last time I went to Micro Center to get a laptop, all of them had USB-C, and I didn't find USB-A on any of them. So,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Now, that may have just been what they had at the time, but I think USB-A is eventually going to go away.
I didn't check, but Micro Center is sending me every day offers about discounts and stuff. I didn't check what exactly, but maybe about computers. Uh,
Yeah. You get on their list, get email.
uh-huh. Yeah, I can suspend it whenever I want, I think. I hope.
I don't know what I did, but suddenly they started texting me, and I don't know what I said to.
Oh,
I
this
must
is
have agreed to it
crazy.
somewhere.
We miss
You can,
you.
you can reply to one of the texts with opt out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure what I did to opt in. So they
What happened
were
with the new Raspberry Pi Pico? They have it or still not?
I
No,
don't know.
Pico 2 or something. I think they had trouble with the chip. Maybe they delay the release of new boards.
I
New
think a
boards.
I think Adafruit has it.
It's weird because Micro Center used to be the first to offer everything about Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, I don't see it on their website, so think I think I have seen a couple of boards being made with
Cool.
the new chip. 2040s, 2050, 2350. Maybe that's why I couldn't find it. I typed in the wrong thing.
Say hi. Look.
Ah.
Oh, you got any peanuts for him?
No, I have, but I stopped giving him because he was bad with the stomach or something. He started to eat bananas, apples 2 weeks ago. He's behaving strange. He never liked fruits, but now he likes everything. Doesn't matter what.
Adafruit has a few boards, a few feathers with the 2350 chip on it.
Yeah, but I'm talking the official board from
Oh,
Raspberry
they've
Pi.
got they've got those too. They've got the official boards in stock.
There is the Pico 2W.
Yeah, for
This is the new
$7.
chip. 7, yeah.
Oh, do they have the W? Micro Center has it. That's
Yeah,
the That's the original.
let me check.
That's not the 2. That's the original. They don't have the
I'll be there tomorrow.
Micro Center has the Pico 2, but not the Wi-Fi edition.
Okay. Well, it's okay. Press. Very Right, Pico.
I just type
Yeah,
I just typed Pico 2 and it finally showed me what I was looking for.
yeah, I see it. $5.
$5. But that does not look
Well,
like the Wi-Fi edition.
they sell as many as you want, or there are limit. Uh, mhm.
That looks like one that you probably could buy as many as you want.
Yeah, you can change the quantity and the price is the same. Interesting.
That's not the Wi-Fi edition.
Yeah, but I like the memory, and this thing is very nice for MicroPython, you know. It's very easy to. I don't like the USB port. They still have the micro USB instead of the USB-C.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. I used to break apart the micro USBs, but I never had problem with the USB-C. So it's a real advantage to use the new connector. It's really strong. Pico. Okay.
Dun dun dun. So those when I was had the camp my phone out going around my room a little bit, those 2 big totes are completely full of uh Hot Wheel cars. And inside the closet, there's another 2 big totes completely full of Hot Wheel cars. I got Hot Wheels sitting all
How
over the
how
place.
how how is Patty going?
She went to work today. She's doing much,
Wow,
much, much better. Her
great.
fever broke 24, 36 hours ago. Her fever broke, and that's what work was waiting for, was for her to have a fever, no fever,
Well,
before they let her come back.
women are way strong than us.
Yeah.
I used to fall down and I don't move for a week when I have
Oh,
a flu or
Pat,
whatever.
when I'm actually sick, I'll sit there and go, I'm dying. I'm dying. Patty says she always knows when I'm really sick, and she calls it the man flu. I have the man flu.
Different.
So,
It's way strong.
yeah, well, she was off work for a week-ish. Uh yeah, probably like right at a week, and I could tell she was getting bored because we couldn't go anywhere, we couldn't do anything. She was up just fiddling with stuff, just stuff. I'm like, you're bored out of your mind, aren't you? See, I'm perfectly happy to stay home. I have toys around me. I can do stuff.
Yes, yes,
She,
yeah.
she,
She needs to get out.
she needs to go and do stuff. So, yeah, um,
I
it
know that
yeah,
feeling that
I'm, I was perfectly fine. I'm sitting here doing computer stuff, playing robots, whatever. She's like, yeah, I guess I am bored.
About 30 years ago was the worst time I had ever been in the hospital. I had a staph infection in my left elbow. Just bumped it, don't know where it came from. And I'm thinking, when I woke up, I couldn't stand to touch it. And I'm looking in the mirror and there's a golf ball size swelling there. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be at the doctor's office before he is, waiting for them to open up. And I better take money because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a prescription for this. So the woman with a groggy-eyed coffee is unlocking the door, and I'm saying, I'm here to see the doctor about my elbow. And the doctor comes in and takes about 10 cc's of fluid off of it with a syringe and sits down and is filling out paperwork. And I said, oh, okay, here comes the prescription. And he turns to me and says, you're going to be in the hospital for 7 to 10 days. And I said, what? He says, yeah, you're not going to work. You're not going home. You're going directly to the hospital. And take this vial with you, and they're going to culture it. So I didn't feel bad, but I had this fawn-colored bruise that was on my arm. He circled it with an ink pen, and it continued to grow for about a week. I could not have a roommate. I had to lay on my right-hand side with my arm up in the air. There was nothing to do. I couldn't have visitors. And the TV, as it was, I could kind of catch it out of the corner of my eye.
Oh,
It's like, I'm ready to go. I want to do something. I don't feel like I should be confined to this bed in this position for a damn week.
Why no visitors?
It was a staph infection, and they considered me to be isolated.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
When I visited the doctor later on, he said if I had waited another 2 hours to come in, it would have destroyed my elbow.
wow.
So, yeah, it's one of those things where when other people find out you have a communicable disease, they don't want to have anything to do with you.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. And they're not very nice about it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Where's the garlic? Where's the garlic?
Yeah.
So, Art, you might appreciate this. My brother and his wife lived in a small town there south of San Francisco called Boulder Creek. And my sister-in-law notices the neighbors are moving in. And so she walks over to the fence and says, what's going on there? And they're nailing garlic up around all of the windows. And she introduces herself. Hi, I'm Maureen Sullivan. I'm your neighbor. And the guy doing the nailing turns and says, I'm Jesus Christ incarnate. And she basically says, oh, and he scurries back home. So I guess it's more a California thing that you have to worry about vampires.
Well, Boulder Creek is down going towards Monterey. Basically, it's at the base of the peninsula. It's a pretty nice area, but they have problems with mudslides and so forth and so on.
How about vampires?
I don't know. All you got to do is go a little further south towards Gilroy, and that's the garlic capital of the world. So,
Well, I had to react to that when Leroy's given me the uh, crucifix fingers.
Ah, ah.
yeah.
Yeah, you know. So, yeah. Yeah. So Patty watched TV probably for the first time in 3 months while she was off work because there was nothing else for her to do.
Well, you got to be pretty desperate to watch daytime TV. I got to tell you.
Ah, I walk out from the computer room and go, "Oh, the TV's on. I'm glad it still works." Turn around and walk back in because I could hear people talking. I'm like, "Who the heck is here?"
We were out of town for a funeral over the New Year, and so we spent about a week in a motel. And I was just amazed at how many channels of trash you get on cable TV.
Yeah.
And the same thing on multiple channels.
Yeah, a lot of duplication.
Over the air TV is not much better, especially when you're in between two markets that
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
same.
And, and here we basically record anything we want to watch and time shift it so that we can do it at our leisure and zip through any really aggravating, which almost all of them are aggravating commercials.
Yeah.
You get spoiled, or I got spoiled anyway. So over the air or cable, it was like,
I uh I mean our TVs are smart TVs, so there's a lot of free streaming options that we could watch, but there's nothing on those channels either that's worth watching. I've watched what I want to watch. I don't even turn the TV on anymore, really. So, so it,
Well, we have a large um, 58 inch plasma. And basically, if I turn that on, I can turn the furnace off because it generates so much heat. So about a year ago, we decided we won't turn the TV on anymore. So Barbara and I both watch whatever we're going to watch on um, some combination of YouTube or whatever. And, it's the TV is basically a waste at this point in time.
well, I mean, I play video games, and that's really why I have the TV. But I could play video games on my computer, so I
Yeah.
don't I don't need the TV. But yeah, I was just surprised because that was when I knew she was really bored. She turned the TV on and she was watching something on TV. I was like, you're bored out of your mind, aren't you? What do you do all day? I sit on my computer and I play games and I play robots and I'm perfectly happy.
Well, I also do a lot of reading of library books and so forth with the Ohio Digital Library.
Yep.
You got quite a selection of books available, and
Yeah,
you can either read them as text or you can listen to them as audio. And
yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do. It's
I I don't I don't think I can listen to audiobooks. My mind wanders off and I lose track of what's going on. It becomes background noise, and it's like, oh, where were we? Um,
yeah, the
Playing
problem
them at
with
150% speed.
could be.
That helps with me.
well, it's interesting. When my dad was still alive, we had the early version, which are basically tapes of audiobooks, and we actually checked them out of the library and used a tape player. And it would generally take about 5 minutes of the tape, and he'd be totally zoned out. it, it helped with sleeping, I will say that.
I I usually listen to audiobooks in the car.
Yeah,
And I don't know if I actually listen or or if it really is just background noise to some distraction kind of thing, but that's where I'm usually listening to audio stuff at.
Well, I gain a lot of knowledge by reading and visually, but I don't pick up too much uh, auditory. If there's a conversation, that's different than listening to a one way.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I'm listening to uh see, I can't even tell you the inspector's name right now. It's a mystery series and there's like 13 chapters and couldn't tell you what any part of it is and I've on like chapter 7 now. So that's how much I am paying attention to it in the car.
You're going to be really surprised when they reveal who did it.
Yeah, I'll be like, "Oh, I knew that."
Well, I like the story of the actress that moved to Hawaii and started listening to her favorite soap. And it wasn't until a year later she discovered she'd tuned into a different one entirely. Didn't know the difference for a year.
Yeah. I could see how that would be possible. I don't watch soaps, but that would be very possible with some of those that I have seen. They're all the same. Doctor, doctor, he's dying. Doctor, doctor, I think she's dead. Oh yeah, it's the same. That's the same. Uh, I will tell you, uh, there's a new show called Watson. I think CBS is doing it. And I am kind of looking forward to that. That might actually be a decent show. Um, it's supposed to be after Sherlock Holmes uh was killed and Dr. Watson uh starts his own medical practice. Of course, it's all modern now, so it's not anything like what what you would expect. It seemed to me like from the previews I've seen, it's like Dr. House, uh, House MD or whatever that show was.
That's pretty funny sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a decent show, and that's kind of why I'm kind of looking forward to it because I kind of like House. House was a good show, and I just hope they don't screw it up too bad because modern TV seems screwed up pretty much.
The series that ended about 5 years ago called Elementary with uh,
Yep,
Johnny Miller
Lucy,
and
Lucy Liu.
yeah,
Yep.
I like the twists that were involved with it, particularly he's being forced to find an AA sponsor, and he looks around the room and picks the most unlikely person.
Yep. I liked that if you had read the books or listened to any of the audio dramas that they have done, you would instantly recognize like 90% of the characters. Of course, they were all modernized, but Inspector Gregson, he was an inspector that Sherlock Holmes like really respected because he liked modern techniques. Lestrade was
Yeah,
there.
yep,
Um, I thought they did a really good job of that. Much, much better than Sherlock, the BBC presentation of Sherlock Holmes that was going on at the same time.
yeah, I agree. The I guess 20 years ago or so, they had Colin, I believe it was Colin Baker, with the period time of a very cocaine addicted uh, Victorian era Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Um, Basil Rathbone.
Never did care for that.
It wasn't bad. Of course he did the audio dramas or some of the audio dramas, so you got that. Um, he was Sherlock Holmes for a long time, but yeah, I thought Elementary was pretty good, and I think Watson's going to be pretty good, but it's its own show. It's going to be quite a bit different, I think, than what anybody's expecting. But when I watched the trailer for it, I was like, "Oh, it's Dr. House. I hope it's just not a House ripoff." That, of course, Dr. House was based on Sherlock Holmes.
It kind of has that same attitude of
Well,
is being able to recognize.
he the series the showrunner, I don't know who it was. Somebody involved with the series pretty much said that it was. He lived at 221 B. It in the apartment complex. It was 221 B.
I didn't
Uh
realize.
yeah, it did. Uh his sidekick in most of it was not Watson. It was
Wilson.
Wilson and Watson, Holmes and House. It pretty much, we can't get the rights to Sherlock Holmes, but we'll make our own and call it House.
Well, I've caught a few segments of a few episodes, but it is not something that I had ever watched regularly.
Well, they he House went through some sort of muscle death, and he walked with a cane, and he was addicted to painkillers because he was constantly in pain. And eventually address that whole situation because he shouldn't be practicing medicine while he's addicted to pain, and um, he goes to jail and the whole nine yard. I mean, it pretty much follows Holmes being addicted to cocaine, and when he gets
Morphine,
morphine, when he
Yeah.
3%
gets
solution.
when he gets bored. Well, I read I guess it's not really the canon book, but I'm pretty sure that in the one story it was cocaine.
Yeah. Well, you know where that comes from.
No.
A. Conan Doyle was addicted to cocaine.
Ah, okay.
So basically, it was his. Um, he was basically putting himself
Yeah.
in the place of Watson. And in the late 18th century, excuse me, 19th century, cocaine was, a perfectly legal drug.
Yeah.
And by the way, Coca-Cola had cocaine in it at that time.
Yeah, well, I knew that. I
Well, Scientific American had a series where it would go back and say 50 years ago or 100 years ago, and they were talking about Bayer had come up with a new drug that had all the benefits of morphine, but none of the side effects. And they had an advertisement for it, and the Bayer folks were calling it heroin. So,
oh, oops.
well, I'm looking here, Steve, and it says 7% solution was of cocaine.
Yeah, I thought 7% was
Okay.
cocaine.
7%, this is in Coke?
When
Uh,
Sherlock Holmes says he wants a 7% solution, he's talking about cocaine.
Okay.
He doesn't think he's going to be addicted if it's 7% or something like that.
I'm just reading the headlines. I'm not doing a detailed analysis.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Now I'm
got a
trying to remember where I got the 3% from.
I
Maybe
don't
Watson was cutting it down to 3% and Holmes didn't notice, or Holmes did notice and caught him on it or something.
yeah.
'Cause I would have sworn it was the 3%.
Oh, I don't actually remember exactly how that story went, but I know he had the mindset that if it was 7%, he couldn't get addicted. And I don't think that that would be true, but
Probably not.
but see, uh House also followed he only wanted to take the really interesting cases or what he thought were interesting.
Yeah.
If they weren't interesting, he didn't want to have anything to do with them. And when he got bored, he did crazy stupid crap to keep himself amused. So House is Holmes. It's the same show. It's just a medical drama
Yeah,
disguised as or Sherlock Holmes disguised as a medical drama.
it changed the face, but
They
the
changed they changed some names and they changed, some other stuff, but it's basically Sherlock Holmes. Yeah.
well, I
I
can.
never noticed that. Okay.
This was very distinctly 38 years ago. I had undergone some severe or significant surgery at Cleveland Clinic, and they'd given me a painkiller at the time that was common in use called Demerol.
Yeah.
And did not like the way it made me feel. And so I wasn't taking any, asking for any. And the nurse comes in and says, how come you're not taking any pain medication? I said, well, it doesn't hurt any more now than it did before I had the surgery. And she says, well, we'll see about that. And so she comes back and says, roll over. The doctor has prescribed morphine for you. So
Uh,
she hits me in the butt with that. And the world was a warm, sunny place. Everybody was nice. It was a great place.
I love this place.
And it's like, I don't hurt. And wow, I can see how people become quickly addicted to this feeling.
Yep.
Yep.
yep. Yeah. I I watch well, I used to watch a lot of detective shows and TV shows like that that because I am kind of a fan of Sherlock Holmes, almost all of them, I could sit there and go, wow, that's Sherlock Holmes. They just did it different. It's just different people. It's the same idea. There's two detectives, one's stupid and one's incredibly smart.
Well, in the elementary, the woman, Dr. Watson, was not any intellectual slouch. She was
No.
on her own.
Well, I don't really think Watson in the stories was a stupid man. He just was not observant to some of the stuff. And that was part of the learning of, Sherlock Holmes kind of taught him to be more observant about the surroundings. He saw something in Watson that said Watson could be really good at this if he was more observant. So, and I think they did the same thing with Elementary. She
Yeah.
was already smart, but she learned to become a really good detective on her own because Sherlock Holmes taught her to observe things, to pay attention to some of the small stuff that almost everybody doesn't pay attention to. But that's I I think when Elementary first aired, I was like, ah, they changed Watson. Ah. But as the show went on, I kind of went, no, she's not bad. It's not a bad it's
Well,
not a
I,
bad take on the
first
character.
year or so, and I kind of caught up and deluged myself in it. And once I did that, I was hooked on the 7% solution.
Well, uh the whole Moriarty twist, that was
That was
different.
Yeah.
Um, you know, eventually going back to London, that was kind of unexpected, but you kind of saw it, but it was still kind of unexpected. I was kind of expecting them to do like a spin-off of it, Elementary London or something, but that never happened.
Yeah.
So, uh, but at the same time, Sherlock was airing, and I was watching it, and that show just went like deep into special effects, and Holmes just felt like an ass almost the entire time. I mean, everybody was stupid and nobody was worth his time. And it just felt completely opposite of what I always pictured Sherlock Holmes being. I mean, I think he could have always be somewhat of an ass, but he actually seemed to want people to become better than themselves. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of looking forward to this new Watson show and see what they actually do with it. See if they mess it up or if it's going to be a house clone or if it's going to be its own thing or just what they do with it.
Well, I'm going to have to go here, but just a small story. About 4 years ago, my brother-in-law passed, and my sister organized arrangements according to his wishes. He wished to be cremated, and so there was a small gathering of family, and we were allowed to go back into the crematorium. And it's not like you see on TV. It's a very industrial type setting. No open fire or flames or anything like that. It's basically a large heated metal container that bakes away the moisture. So after my brother-in-law's cremation, my sister organized a little lunch for everyone at a restaurant that they were very, very familiar with. And it was a nice get together. It was quiet. We could reflect, interact. So when my sister passed, I told my niece and nephew, if you will make arrangements for that same restaurant, I will go ahead and pick up the tab for everybody that's in attendance at the cremation to come there. And so we attend the cremation and we go to the restaurant that they have arranged. And they take us to a sports bar that has a football game on with the audio and the banner from the stadium playing over the PA. You could not talk to the person next to you. And I wanted to say, what in the hell were you thinking? And then I realized they just lost their mother. They don't need any grief from me.
Yeah.
But I still wonder this day, what the hell were they thinking?
Well, was it the same restaurant?
No, it was a completely different one. The original one from several years ago was a nice sit down, order off a menu, very nice, casual atmosphere. This was a beer and picnic tables, and all you could manage to fight your way through. Yeah.
The restaurant rebranded itself, became something else.
It wasn't the same restaurant. It wasn't even the same building room or anything else.
Wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close.
Wow.
So what's on for next week?
Next week we are virtual again. Well,
Okay.
not that we were supposed to be virtual this week, but uh so next what is today? The 9th. So there's 3 virtual meetings this month. And then one more meeting at Midpoint, and then we'll be at Mason.
Yes.
And So that's the 13th for Mason. Uh, I don't know what's actually going to be the agenda for the next three meetings. Probably more us just getting together and gabbing
I
about
used to go to
stuff.
the Mason Library.
Do you
It's
like the
small.
Mason? Did did you
No,
like
I
the
don't know
Mason?
about. Yeah, but it's a small library. I don't know about the meeting rooms.
The meeting room that I booked, the one that she told me that was going to be good is about give or take the same size as the meeting room that we're in.
Okay.
Um, it looked like a really nice room. It has a
The best,
projector. Do what?
the best thing is the Two Cities pizza that is 300 yards from the library.
Okay, pizza. We'll have to try that.
Supposedly the best pizza in Cincinnati. Supposedly.
Um, the, they have a projector, so we should be good there. There is a TV that I saw, but she said don't count on the TV being there. Uh, I guess they use it for other things. Um, the room's definitely set up different than the room that we're currently in. It doesn't quite have as big of a table, but it looked like 8 to 10 people could sit around it. And there were more tables available if we needed them. She showed me they're in a cabinet. You just got to pull them out and put them back when you're done. Um, so I mean, I think it's a decent room. Um, you remember some of those rooms that we played around with the robot, the big robot?
No, I don't remember the rooms. I used to go to the main place.
The it,
It's
it's
small. It's small in general.
yeah, it's a
Small
small
library.
library. There's a lot of room. The way they've got the table set up, um, they left a lot of room in the room. So the table set up against one of the walls. It's an interesting setup, and I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
And and if it doesn't work, we'll just figure out something else. But I
Well,
think
the
it'll be all
interesting
right.
thing will be what the Wi-Fi is like.
I guess that's really the only question. But I don't see a problem. Mason is a decent area. They should have good
Lydia,
internet
I will
coverage.
check when I be around. I will check in the next weeks. I will check the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi and the size of the rooms.
yeah. So they've got two meeting rooms. They've got a small 10-person room that she told me was really more of a study room. Um, and it's
Well,
a kind of a first come, first serve kind of deal. You can't book it ahead of time. It's you show up and say, I would like to use the room, and they say okay or no, that kind of deal.
Okay.
Um, this is supposed to be a 50-person room. I don't know how they can cram 50 people into it. I don't think it's big enough for that, but whatever. It's supposed to be a 50-person room.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm
it's
gonna duck out.
yeah, it's about that time. So I will
They're waiting at the door.
Harley. Yeah. Okay.
Good night.
We'll see you
Take
later.
care. Good night.
Bye.
Um, so it is 7 o'clock, but I will email everybody again with the
Details.
details and whatever. So
Okay.
I will see everybody next week, hopefully.
Have a good
Okay.
week.
Bye,
Bye.
bye, everyone.
Bye bye.